Hi everybody! Now that you have your website in place, you are going to start creating a blog and you're going to be tracking your building process and talking about your art. So one of the great things about this is that you get a little bit of practice discussing how you create your art and what makes your art special and how does it stand apart from those around you. So I had you create 4 different tabs on your website, and I'm going to use my website that I used as the example to show you how I want you to create your first blog entry. So you should have a home page and about page. You should have your work page, so you can title this with your name and your work, and then you can have your blog page, and you can title that whatever you want. I've titled mine What's Happening so that people know what's happening in our art room. So if yours looks similar to mine, you're on the right track. You also want to give your website its own identity, so you don't want it to look exactly like those around you. But you still want it to kind of, include what is needed. So if yours looks exactly like mine or exactly like the person that you're sitting next to, you want to change it up a little bit and give it your own personal touch. So you want to include your work page and your blog page. So I'm going to edit mine. And if you have trouble finding your site, you can always just go back into the comment section of Google Classroom and you'll be able to access your site. So that's why I had you publish it in the comment section here so that you have access to it easily. If you didn't save your site or you didn't publish your site and copy and paste it to the comment section, then you may have to start your site all over again. So this was the entire reason why I had you list your site in the comment section. Those of you who didn't have to start all over again and are therefore behind. So it's on you to get that caught up. Alright, so here is my blog page. I've added a text box. This was from last year. Now you're just going to continue to add to your blog page, and so you want to have your most recent entry at the very top here. So not up here in your header, but right down here, right above this one. So in order to create a new entry, I'm going to talk about a student's artwork of what's happening in the art room. So I'm going to include a new text box, but I'm going to move this one because I want it to go right above this. So I'm just going to drag it so it pops up right before that one. And I'm going to add the date. And I'm going to title this. So now I want this to be formatted in the center. And I'm going to title this Now, I'm using a student's example of her artwork. You're going to pick one piece of artwork that you've created so far that you have a picture of that you can include. If you don't have a picture of it right away, that's okay. You can still discuss the artwork here. So you want to include the title, and then you want to change the formatting change the alignment. You can leave the alignment if you want off to the left. I like mine in the center. So it's completely up to you. And I'm going to make this a bold heading. And I want to create, there we go. So I want my title of my blog to stand out, and then I want to move to a normal text. So as you can see when I clicked on this, I have a title, a heading, and a subheading. I want my name of my page to be the title, and I want my headings to just be what I'm going to be talking about in that blog post. So that's going to be my heading. Any subheadings you can add, it's up to you. Those are just kind of like subcategories of what you're going to be talking about if you decide to talk about multiple subjects in your blog post. But for the most part, we're going to just mainly be focusing on your art pieces and then creating a post for each of those. I may be asking you questions and giving you prompts for what you're going to be talking about. So when that is the case, you'll just use the prompt as your heading, or however you want to answer that. You can kind of rename it and get creative with it if you'd like, just as long as you're answering the prompt for that. But you're going to be discussing your artwork and talking about art on this blog page. So now that I have that set, I'm going to start talking about the artwork that the student created. So Now, this is really generic right now, and I don't want this to be bold. I want this to just be regular type. But you're going to talk about your selected artwork and how you created that artwork. So I'm talking about the Elements of Art mug that was created in Art 2. And this was a project that we did when we first came back. So I'm going to discuss how we use the Elements of Art and the beginning Art 1 techniques to create mugs. And so I'm going to discuss this a little bit further. I don't want you to sit here and watch me type this entire thing, but you're going to be talking about your selected artwork. So just like I'm talking about this selected artwork, you're going to do the same exact thing for yours. So you're going to introduce me to the artwork that you've selected. So give it a name, give it a title, and you're going to tell me about it. How did you come up with the idea is one thing I want to know. So, 1. Whoops. You want to make sure your spelling's correct too. Number 2. So, I'm going to use these questions to just talk to you about what I would possibly type about the artwork, and I'm also going to include an image below because I want the person who's reading my blog post to know what I'm talking about. So, I'm going to search for... Oh, this is not what I want. I want to enter an image here. So I'm going to want to follow the steps for entering my image into my drive. Alright, so let me just talk you through really quickly what I just did there. If your images are not on your drive, let's say you have them on the desktop like I did. Now this is if you're editing or adding to your blog someplace other than the Chromebooks. Most of the time you're going to need to add the images to your Google Drive in order to upload them to your website because the Chromebooks are used by everybody. So the images that you save to your desktop will not be saved there. But if you have your computers at home, or if you're accessing this through your phones and you have the pictures on your phone, you'll have to upload the image, not access the image through Google Drive. If all my images were loaded into Google Drive, then I could access them right here. Or let's say I wanted to select a certain image, kind of like what you did when you were picking the theme for your website. You would go there and you would search for images and add those. But because I'm using a designated art piece that somebody created, I want to make sure that I upload that, and then I can resize this and include that in my post. Because I want the person to, like I said before, know what I'm talking about when they're looking at my artwork that I've created or the artwork that I'm talking about. So now I can kind of format this a little bit. I can move it all around. If you don't want this to be a part of your type like this, you can you can move it separately so that it stands on its own, and then you can format it that way. So you're just going to kind of play around with the formatting, but you are going to make sure that you discuss all of these questions when you talk about your artwork. So, for some reason this is not going to want me to, there we go. So you want the person to be able to see it, so you are going to have to include the pictures. If you don't have them right away, that's okay, we'll come back to it, but I want you to answer these questions in your blog post. Once you have answered these questions in full sentences, no text lingo, none of the IDKs, smiley faces, emoji faces, save that for later. For right now, I want you to answer these in full detail. And also, give them each a paragraph. And your paragraphs don't have to be super long, 3 to 5 sentences minimum, and talk about the artwork. I want to see how you're talking about it, how you're discussing it, how you're using your elements of art to talk about how you created this. Once you've answered these questions, you're going to, again, publish your website. You're going to view the published website. You're going to copy this link right here, and you're going to post it in the comment section. So I'm posting mine just so you can see it. Again, it's not going to be finished, but now when you click on it, you can actually see what the questions are so that you don't have to just continue to watch this video over and over again to see them. You'll have it right there. But I want to see your finished, posted website in the next little announcement that I make for you. And so this is going to be your very first blog post about your selected artwork. Let me know if you have any other questions. If you have not created your site yet, you need to make sure that you do that and that you get it posted into the website, creating your Google Sites comment section here. Don't post it in the first blog post announcement that I'm going to make. I want to make sure that you keep those separate. So let me know if you have any questions. Have fun creating your website, and I look forward to seeing what you are talking about.